Hello. I couldn't see the video, so that was weird. I was just like, hello, is anybody there? Hello, beautiful souls. Happy to be here with you. This is going to be a live today that goes straight to the point. I don't know about you, but energetically, I am one tired mama today. I've been coaching today and it's been a big one already, but even just aside from like being busy, being mum and working, I'm just feeling like an exhaustion that is definitely bigger than just those things. Um, so, yeah, please tell me who's here. Tell me how you're going today. Bring your voice to the comments. My name is Lucy Shah Jahan. And, this community is here for you to uplevel your mindset, uplevel the way that you look at love, which is a fantastic segue into today's Q&A, which is, what strong beliefs are you holding about men? Hey, beautiful Karina, how are you? Sending you so much love. I miss you. What strong beliefs are you holding about men? Do you feel that all men focus on are themselves? All men are scared of commitment? All men just cheat and are assholes? Or is it that men just simply don't like me for me? Which one of those, yay, feeling that, which one of those is your belief? Or if it's something different, please comment below. Because truly, when we put our power, I'm going to have to shut down my messenger. I've got people messaging me. Hold on one second. Oh, it's fine. I'll just let it be there. When you are putting the power outside of yourself and you're putting the blame over with it's them, not me, you are putting yourself on the back foot and you are robbing yourself of the kind of relationship and life that you desire. Okay, so if you're just sort of resting on your laurels and saying, well, I just attract all the emotionally unavailable men because there's no good men left. Or, I bring in my heart, I'm really vulnerable, and then men just ditch me, they just leave me. Well, that's actually not the truth, because what we do in life is we attract who we are. And you may think that you're bringing your heart in, and you may think that you're being vulnerable, when in actual fact, you're coming from a place of disbelief that love works out for you. And your version of being vulnerable, which is a whole other conversation, which is a bonus. If you pre-order my book, Don't Shit in My Vortex, it's a potent teaching, go get it. But you may think that you're being vulnerable, when in actual fact, you're being needy. And that used to be a really big mistake that I used to make. And then I would get into the story of, well, I'm really vulnerable and I bring my heart in with these men and they just don't get me. They just don't know how to handle me. When the truth was, I didn't get me. I didn't know how to hold space for me. I didn't know how to love me and how to celebrate me in all my glory, in my bigness, in the true woman and essence that I am. And so that was being reflected back to me. Can I shut that down there? Is that going to shut down? Oh no, that'll shut down everything. So yeah, so I didn't know how to be at home in my own skin. And so surprise, surprise, that was being reflected back to me in all my relationships, where it felt so incredibly unsafe to actually let men know how I really feel, because my internal story was that, oh God, I've done that once or twice. And when I do that, I'm left to basically cry. Like, they just don't know how to support me. They don't know how to hold space for me. So for me, my story was men don't know how to show up for me. It's not safe to be vulnerable. I always attract in the men that aren't ready to commit, or they're emotionally unavailable. And a lot of them are very, very good looking. So I was just like, I can attract in these guys, but for the love of God, no matter what dress I wore or what beautiful new earrings I got, I was like, I'm just not good at this, and all the good men are taken. And I truly told myself that. And I started to buy into that. This is especially around 29, 30. I was just like, well, my friends' husbands, like, they're awesome. And I could get on with my friends' husbands any day of the week. Why? Because there's no risk. They're already taken. So, of course, all my friends' husbands love me. They're like, oh my God, Lucy. And I'm just like, I can get on with my friends' husbands because there was no fear there. And if I was at their house for dinner, I would be vulnerable. I would be me. I'd be, taking up all the space because there was nothing at stake. My heart wasn't on the line. And so you really have to get honest with yourself to go, well, if this is just an area you're having trouble with in the love space, look at what you're telling yourself. Katie says, 100%, I didn't bring my full self, always 1 foot in, 1 foot out. My walls never fully open in order to keep myself safe. Thank you, Katie. So succinct and very universal. My walls were up. And actually, Katie, I was proud to have my walls up because I was like, well, I'm going to outdo dating. Like, I'll go on dates, but there's no way that I'm going to bring all of myself in. And then I even read some really shonky dating books that were kind of agreeing with that, saying, oh, yeah, don't put all your cards on the table and keep the chase going. And you've got to be elusive. And for someone like me, being elusive, like that's a really big challenge. It's a big ask because I am someone that wears my heart on my sleeve. I always have. The thing that was missing for me when I was having, a lot of issues with dating and not being able to land my soulmate, so to speak, was I had this perception of myself. I was like, I'm intimidating for men. I'm too big a personality. I'm too spiritual. I'm too deep. I'm too emotional. Like I had all these things and I was like, I'm not the sort of girl that men marry. And saying that out loud, like that breaks my heart a little. Like that makes me really emotional. That truly was the story that I was living. Like I absolutely believed that. And I think the reason I'm getting so emotional is because I know so many of you in here really believe your own bullshit. You're buying into your own story that you're not the chosen one. You're buying into your own story that, you're not soulmate material and men never commit to you. And you're looking at someone right now that used to have that story, but now I'm married to the love of my life and I have the most amazing daughter. And the only reason I'm sitting in this place is because I got so jack shit of feeling left behind. And I was like, is this really my life? Is this really the road that I'm going down to end up single and to not be a mum and to not have this lit up, amazing, soul connected relationship? And the answer was, fuck no. This is not what I signed up for. So it really took me having to rewire my beliefs, like not just say new beliefs out loud, to really birth these new beliefs at a cellular level so I could truly believe in my being that I am worthy. And then to emanate that worthiness. Worthiness isn't something that you just say, oh, well, I'm really worthy and I know I'm a good catch and, I've done all these cool things with my life. I've gone traveling and I've done, got a degree and I've got a house, whatever. Those things don't make you fucking worthy. They don't. They make you look good, but they don't make you worthy. Really fucking big distinction. Your worthiness is either felt deeply by you or it's not. And if you are not feeling worthy in your skin, you will not attract in the kind of relationship that I know that you want. So please put your comments below with the story that you are feeding right now about men. And it's okay, to say out loud in the comments here, I do think that men are all cheaters. I do have a fear of actually men and that they'll never understand me. I do have a fear that I'm too old, whatever it is. I heard a beautiful girl, Marty was sharing some feedback about a girl this morning who was basically like, I'm 38 and it's too late for me to have children. I hear from a lot of my friends and also she works in an industry with children and she was basically like, I've been told to my face that I'm too old to have children. Like, who the fuck are you getting this intel from? Like, yes, you want to get cracking with your eggs and not leave it till you're 50. There are women having babies at 50 as well, but I don't think that would be anyone's first choice. It wouldn't be my first choice. But, great for the women that are having it 50, but that's pretty hectic being a new mum at 50. I'm in my 40s and I got to tell you that I'm like, whoa, all right, I better get my fitness on because 40 is not 30. But I love being a mum at 40, I'll be honest with you. I am so grateful and I'm so happy because I'm in a place where I'm really ready to be a mum. But anyway, that's not about me. I want to make it about you. So What are you feeding right now that is sabotaging your opportunities to actually attract in love? What are you telling yourself about men? Write it in the comments. Katrina said, I never get the guy I actually want. Thank you, Katrina. That is absolutely what so many women think. Katie said exactly what brought me to Soul to Soul, tired of that old story. Yes, Katie, that old story is robbing you of your life force. It's robbing you of your good energy. It's taking the inspiration out of your life where you feel like you are in fucking Groundhog Day. You feel stuck, stagnant, and angry. And underneath the anger is a lot of sadness. Why not me? What's wrong with me? Why don't men choose me? And you got to understand that, I know many of you have come from a background where your parents fought a lot. So from a very young age, love has not felt safe for you at all. Love has felt very scary. Or if you had a mother that wasn't present because she was depressed and a father that was off dating other people or whatever scenario, you could have a mother that was at home 7 days a week, but if she had 3 children, chances are you weren't getting that much attention. So whatever the dynamic is, if it was hard for you to get mum's attention or hard for you to get dad's attention, then you equate love as being hard. And this is why you're single right now, because love doesn't feel easy for you. It doesn't feel fun for you. It feels like a chore, right? Karina said, I recently realized that I had hidden belief that men were flaky. That surprised me, but grateful it came up to shift and transmute. Yeah, I've seen that come up for you before, darling. So it's good that it's finally come up again because, we just need to tend to ourselves like a garden, and we need to be confronting these beliefs that are fucking hijacking our chances at love. Because if Karina really feels that the men are flaky, then of course she's going to keep them out of her vortex because she isn't flaky. Karina is anything but flaky. Karina is one of the most dependable people I know. If she says she's going to do something, she does it. I can count on Karina. And many of you are probably nodding your head going, well, I'm that person too, Lucy. I'm so dependable, so why are these fucking men like standing me up, ghosting me, being flaky? Well, that's because there's a deeper belief that love is hard. And you've either been role modeled by your own father that he's flaky or he's not present and he's not showing up for you and giving you that support and that love. So at a very young age, you've inherited that belief. Well, that's actually mostly where it comes from. But then there are also things in our life, other men that, maybe it's in the brother line where we feel like we can't count on them. And then we foster that belief and we make it the truth. And then before you know it, you've talked yourself out of love. And this is on a very subconscious level, because even you might be saying to me, well, no, like I believe that love can happen for me. And I know I'm a good catch and I still believe there's good men left. Well, you can say all that, but your internal world doesn't reflect that. Your internal world and how you really feel does not trust love for 1 second. And that is where the work needs to take place, on your inner world and your inner beliefs, because that impacts your vibration. So you can be saying all these things, I am worthy, I believe in love, this is my year, and he's just around the corner. Those words are empty and meaningless and carry no weight if you are not in resonance with that. Does that make sense? If you're not actually emanating that. And the way to know whether you're emanating that is you are fully trusting. You know that this is going to happen for you unequivocally. You're like, I know in my cells. You have no fear around it. Yeah, Katie says family issues compound the fear. So relieving to know you can heal those wounds. Absolutely. We can heal all of our wounds. Even the really big messy ones, we can heal them. We can put the light into those wounds and heal out all the gunk with our light. But it takes courage. Michelle Taylor said, the ones I like don't like me. Yeah, that's very, very common. Philippa, my belief was always that men don't like me or choose me. That's why I'm in the program. Yeah, but guess what? Great point, Philippa. Her saying men don't like me or choose me is indicative that Philippa doesn't like her in the way that she needs to. She doesn't have the reverence for herself. She's only as valid as her last PhD. And now Philippa's realizing that she's not a PhD, that she is a full, whole, complete, amazing, lovable woman, and she happens to have a PhD. That's a very different mindset. So if any of you, whatever you're writing down here, Michelle Taylor says, the ones I like don't like me, that means that you're not loving yourself at the full capacity that is required for you to attract in a man that's going to be able to love you in the way that you desire. And this should feel really, really fucking liberating, because we are in an energetic universe. And so any of the fears that you are seeing about men will leave and hurt me, Bibiana says. Hey, Bib. It just means that there's a wound there. In that particular case, you have a fear of loss, Bib, because you've been let down and hurt by men before. So there's a huge abandonment wound there. Hello, I have exactly the same wound as you. We're wound soul sisters. My dad dying, like instantly like that. I was just like, whoa, I'm never, ever going to love and open my heart again at that same level ever again. And I made that decision in my 8-year-old self, and that informed the next 20 plus years of my life, because that little girl was heartbroken. And we put up wall after wall after wall. And then it's just much easier to put the blame on the guy to go, well, all men are cheaters. No, the men that you're attracting are cheaters because you don't believe that love works out. So you attract in men that cheat so that you get to prove yourself right. All men leave. Yep, you'll attract in the guys like clockwork that will leave you because that is your expectation. That's what I used to do. I used to think that all men would leave and they wouldn't commit, and that's exactly what happened because that was my strongest belief. So what would it look like if you got to work and then you did a 360 on that, a 180 rather, otherwise you'd end back at the beginning, a 180 on that, where you get to transmute that fear and then turn it into medicine? Well, you would be in a different timeline. You would be in a different story. You would get a different outcome. And you'd start to attract in what you want because you're willing to let go of that bullshit belief that is just that, it's a belief. But I want you to hear this. It's not just like you get off this Q&A with me and you go, okay, Lucy, well, I'm always in the belief that men will leave and hurt me. So now I'm just going to say that men don't leave and don't hurt me. And then that's the work. No, the work is actually being held and supported and taken through a process so you can, in a very powerful way, navigate back through your past, because it's very delicate. You're opening up old wounds and you don't want to just go top line with this and go, oh, well, I'll just rewrite a new belief after this Q&A. That's not going to change a bloody thing. It's about actually truly being able to heal that wound. Kim says, yep, my biological father chose alcohol over me. My husband died when I was 30. My stepdad died 7 years later. All the good men leave me. Yeah. That's fucking rough, Kim. Thank you for sharing that. I'm just reading that again. Yeah, so it's so deeply ingrained in your psyche and in your cell, like at a cellular level, you were just totally programmed to that outcome of loss. And it's so deep in you. And what I feel for you, Kim, is when you're able to, face these wounds head on and go, wow, and I'm still alive and I'm still here and I'm still showing up. Like, you have the ability to transmute that into your superpower, to go, I'm still here, even after all these things. My question to you is, what are you going to do about this right now? That's a lot of loss. And once we heal these painful things in our life where they no longer have a grip over us, it's not like we forget that they happened, but we're able to be with them. Like my father died instantly when I was 8. And obviously when I was much younger, that would be really hard for me to talk about. Obviously now that was many, many years ago. But I'm in a place now where I have gratitude for the loss of my father. Even though, what would I give to have him for one more day? Oh my God, like my 8-year-old would basically dance on rainbows if I could think of even having my dad here. Yeah, Bib, you're still here too. You girls are still here, which means you've got another crack at life and how do you want to spend the next 10, 20, 30 years? You are not your wounds. You are not the things that have happened to you. You are not those experiences. Yes, they've had an impact and they're part of your story and they impact the woman that you're becoming, but you can either stand back and go, these are going to destroy me, or you can say, this was majorly painful and completely broke me apart, but I'm going to do my bit to put my pieces back together. Now, not everyone chooses that. Some people will just fall victim to their situation and circumstances because it is so painful, and they'll sell out. And it's understandable, but it's not a powerful choice. It's about knowing that the deeper you fall, the higher you rise. And that it actually can be your superpower, that the fact that you are still here. And so for those of you, if we get back to the thread of this conversation about, how you're seeing men, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't give your power away to diminishing men and calling them assholes or cheaters, or they don't show up for you, or they don't commit to you, or they don't see you. And realize, take responsibility from this Q&A today. Go, I'm going to take responsibility that I have attracted this in. I'm attracting in those men. Because for every asshole man, there's a bunch of beautiful, available, emotionally available men that do want to commit, that do want to show up for you. But you have to become your own soulmate first and do the work to get your belief system into a really healthy place and up-level your mindset so that you can actually right now become the woman that you need to be in order to receive that high vibrational relationship. All right? It's not rocket science. It's not out of reach. Is it going to require something? Yes, it's going to require you putting a stake in the ground to say, I don't want to play this fucking role anymore of the girl that misses out on love. I don't want to keep writing men off. I want to be the chosen one, and I'm going to do whatever it's going to take. All right? So I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for sharing that, Kim, and all of you beauties who have shared, your thoughts on this conversation. It's incredibly potent and needed, this conversation, because it will literally determine whether you're going to claim your dream and experience love in this lifetime, or whether you're going to just keep pushing it away and convincing yourself that love doesn't happen for you. Because I'm married to an incredible man, and my belief is that, oh my God, there are so many amazing men on this planet, and I'm lucky to know a lot of them, but that's my lens, is there are a lot of good men. And yes, there's scumbag men, but there are scumbag women as well. But I choose to put my focus on aligning and attracting in really powerful, amazing men that are actually integrated with their feminine energy as well. Because my husband, he is very manly, but he also is deeply embodied in his feminine, which is why we're, together. Because I have masculine energy too, and my masculine is a healthy masculine, and I have the feminine, and he has the feminine and masculine that are embodied as well. And so that's what it really comes down to, is instead of putting it outside of you and blaming men, it's about you saying, oh, okay, let me deal with myself. Let me learn how to fall in love with myself and put the focus on that and get offline until you are in line with who you are. And only from that place, where dating then occurs for you as something that's exciting and a joy instead of a chore, only then are you ready. Otherwise, there is no point on you dating, because you're only going to keep attracting in from a wounded place, and you're going to keep attracting wounded men. Same for those of you that attract narcissists. Yep, that's because you have a belief that all men are narcissists. And guess what? You're going to keep getting proven right. So it's up to you whether you want to change this. The support is here, and my team can't wait to speak to you. So don't put you off. We're coming up to the end of 2020. Now is the time to step up and to show up for you for the first time in your life, and to learn how to be your priority, because it's not the man you've been looking for your entire life. It's actually you. And when you come home to her, you're going to feel like you won the lottery. Mwah.